total control, no overwhelming feelings of rage.
No! A normal amount of rage!
You do revert back to Gen form when you sleep.
Was the air horn really necessary?
For comedy, absolutely.
She-Hulk, attorney at law. Some superheroes are here to stop villains. She's here to have sex. It took me a while to write this review because I couldn't figure out why this show exists, why Disney made it. It's a comedy that's not funny, made for a demographic of women that doesn't watch their content. It's a show for women who hate men. Then it dawned on me, the She-Hulk isn't a show, it's an editorial. You see, the MCU has been paying attention. They know about the critics, the people who used to be fans in the first 3 phases of the MCU that are now its harshest detractors. They know we don't like them. They know what we've said about them. And the She-Hulk was created to let us know that they don't care. They've made their money so they can afford to produce a hit piece, something that no one will like, that's dedicated to the haters, or what they would call the haters. It reminds me of a phrase that the late Kevin Samuels popularized.
Shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right.
In short, people hate to admit they're wrong, so they rather argue. And sign language is a pathologizing tactic to win the argument. Instead of accepting their wrongdoing, they'd rather shame you for not agreeing with them, insult you for expressing an opinion they don't like, and guilt you into submission to satisfy their need to be right and for you to be wrong. That's what the MCU is editorializing in the She-Hulk. They're saying, if you don't like what we've done in Phase 4, then you're mentally unstable, you're ignorant, and you need to support the content we put out because we say so. And if you don't, we're going to mock you and insult you, demonize you in the eyes of the public because you're evil for not following our orders. So, some superheroes exist to fight bad guys, the She-Hulk exists to have sex. What do I mean by that? Well, that's the theme of the show. This isn't your traditional superhero series. You see, most MCU or comic book shows have a supervillain, or they have a task they must complete. The She-Hulk has neither. There is no one for her to defeat, nothing for her to accomplish, and no one for her to save. Her enemy is an idea, a challenge to societal norms. The She-Hulk is fighting against slut-shaming. I'm not exaggerating, that is the villain in the show. You see, the show breaks the fourth wall. And for those of you who don't know what the fourth wall is, it's a performance convention that says there's an invisible, imaginary wall that separates actors from the audience. While the audience can see through this wall, the actors can't. They don't know they're being watched. The She-Hulk breaks that fourth wall, and while you're watching the show, occasionally she'll stop, turn, look at the camera, and talk to the audience. But not only is the She-Hulk aware of the audience, so is the show itself. The writers know every bad thing that people have said about the MCU. When you watch the show and listen to the screenwriting, well, you can tell they've been following the comments on social media, the editorials and quotes from what they call toxic fans. So they know we exist. So they took those talking points and created composite characters based on what we've said, but in a satirical, mocking way. So they created a group of male characters. They're all men. They're stupid and troglodytic in their views. Remember, they're using sign language in the creation of these characters. These characters aren't just a composite, but they're a representation of what they think about us. So they take our talking points to create these villains, who are the enemy of the She-Hulk, and they are a group of heterosexual men who engage in an elaborate form of cyberbullying against the She-Hulk. They met each other online and they organized a movement. And according to them, they hate the She-Hulk because she's a famous woman with powers, and they don't feel she deserves those powers because she's a woman. So not only are they mocking the fanboys, but they're attempting to co-opt the anti-feminist language you see on social media. These group of anti-She-Hulk men call themselves intelligentsia, and their purpose is to prove that she's an unworthy superhero by slut-shaming her. So they hire a team of spies to infiltrate her life to show the world just how much sex she's been having with random men, and they're successful in their task. They do find her engaging in activity with at least 2 different men, and that's another underlying theme of the movie. It seems to promote the liberation of women's sexuality. In the show, She-Hulk hooks up with at least 4 guys, 3 of them on camera, and all of them are one-night stands, which is odd because the MCU markets itself as a family brand. something that kids can watch. And this is the third time I've seen them push that envelope. The other two occasions were in the movie Eternals, where one scene featured two characters having sex on the beach, and another featured a character in an LGBTQ marriage. And it's funny because the MCU won't show blood or any form of realistic violence or have any type of plot sophistication because of the kids, but they'll expose them to sex and same-sex marriages. It's funny how they prioritize their morals. But getting back to my point, somehow the She-Hulk is able to catch these guys, these anti-feminists, incels. She exposes them, and in the name of womanhood, gets them locked up, and she goes on to live happily ever after. That's the show. Like I said, there is no villain. It's just standing up to internet trolls and men who slut shame. As for the show itself, I see no point in reviewing it. I've watched all 9 episodes and they are terrible. I may do a follow-up video explaining why, but there's really no need to. The ratings were terrible, audience scores were in the toilet, and the MCU didn't create this for the purpose of making money or having a lot of views. They don't care. This is an editorial. This is them taking a shot at us. And when I say us, those who don't like the direction that they've gone in. So in short, the show sucks. So if you like this video, please give it a like and leave a comment in the comment section. And if you are new to my channel, please subscribe and turn on that notification bell. That way you'll get alerts every time I upload new content. This is the Layman's Journal. Thanks for stopping by. I'm out.